off.
It's incredible. I mean, we had this idea of bringing purpose-driven professional sports to America. We knew that Oakland was a crazy sports town, and all people want here is a team that cares about them as much as they care about it. And, you know, soccer may not be everyone's first sport here, but we know that if we were a team that showed up and put the city first and cared about the community, they would show up and support us. And it's just great to see so many different types of people, A's fans, Raiders fans, people who've never been to a soccer game before, all coming out tonight to show love for the community. Is pretty special.
Well, we were talking about it earlier, more than 26,000 tickets sold, so the lower bowl expected to be sold out. This upper deck, I think, expected to be somewhat full. We've seen a number of fans up here already. Is there a plan to retain these fans to come back for not just the first home opener, but the second home game, third home game, next season down the road?
No, absolutely. And like I said, there's a lot of people here who've never been to a soccer game before. That's why we've invested since day one so much in the brand, the experience, the excitement. You'll see the merchandise, the entertainment. We have Too Short playing at halftime. There's fireworks. Like, we want this to be a show, super family friendly, and we hope that everyone who comes here tonight leaves a new fan and is coming back every game this season.
Yeah.
There's so many kind of hometown themes here. You have the 24th minute. You guys are doing something to honor Ricky Henderson. Over the last week, you've done a lot for a community that's hurting after a shooting that took the life of a young teenage boy, a big soccer fan, and a big partner for the Roots. And then you mentioned the Too Short concert, obviously an Oakland native, here during the halftime show. It's kind of your job specifically to get all these community involvements going on here. Why is it so important to you and the Roots program to make sure that people know this is more than just a soccer team?
I mean, we're incredibly fortunate here in Oakland that we have such a rich and diverse culture. There is so much going on in this city, from the arts, from the food, from the music, and we just want to honor and celebrate that. And it's an incredible opportunity for us, because if you're a soccer fan, you're going to come and watch top-level professional soccer in this stadium. But we want people who are just fans of having a good time. And so there is so much on offer in Oakland. We want to make people come here from all around the Bay Area because they know they're going to have the best time. They're going to see something for everybody. And yeah, that's kind of part of the thinking from day one was this is not just a soccer game. Obviously, we wanted to convert everyone to soccer fans. It's a celebration of the Bay Area, of Oakland, of wonderful culture, diversity, spirit, fun. You're all going to find it here tonight.
Mike, we just have one last question for you. What are you most excited for tonight?
Say it again?
What are you most excited for tonight?
Oh my gosh. What am I most excited for? I mean, honestly, it's happened. Like, I pulled up with my family, I got out of the car, and there was a tailgate happening. And literally since day one, the tailgate is the thing that we talked about because it is such a part of Oakland sports culture. People missed it so much when the A's went away. We knew that if we put a sports event on here, people are going to tailgate. There is nothing like an Oakland tailgate, and now we've got one of our own and the whole season to enjoy them. So I've already had my highlight, and hopefully we get a win as well. Right on.
Mike, thank you so much. We talked about that sellout, not quite sellout crowd, but record-breaking crowd here at the Coliseum expected tonight. More than 26,000 tickets sold for this game. I caught up with some fans, members of the Oakland 68s, who have been fans of the Raiders, of the Warriors, of the A's, of course, and now they are on to the Roots. And one thing they talked about is that they are so excited to be cheering for a team who's in Oakland, who cares so much about the city that they call home.
This is the first time in years to where Oakland fans, who are an extremely diehard fan base, can celebrate a team that actually wants to stay in Oakland and build in Oakland. So the one thing that we're very excited about is that there's teams that are starting in Oakland who genuinely embrace the community, they embrace the fans. A lot of these people who work for the team are actually from Oakland.
So the Oakland 68 say that the Roots have their full support and that they are going to do everything they can to make as much noise here at this game as they possibly can. And I can see some of them just down the way. They've got their drums and flags.
Classic
and they're
drums.
ready to go. Yeah, they're ready to go.
Yeah, and it's not just the 68s here. The Roots have already had their own supporters group out here too. So it's a bunch of these different fans of these different teams. Again, it's not just an Oakland Roots game.
No.
It's very much an Oakland sports game.
Yeah, it's sort of like a community game, if you will. It almost feels like I don't want to say backyard soccer because that kind of lessens it, but it's just such a community event, and so cool to see so many fans, so many Oakland teams come together for a team that is now coming here as opposed to leaving.
Yeah, well, you hear the music blasting right now. Kickoff is set in just about 20 minutes from now, but we want to talk about where we're coming up. We're going to head to a break for now and talk to you a little bit about some of the more stories and some of the features that we were able to put together to kind of not just show you what the Roots are all about, but really educate you about the game of soccer in general, not just here in Oakland, but of course across the U.S. So coming up, more Roots coverage, a closer look at the rich history of the Roots at the Coliseum, as well as soccer in the Bay Area. That's coming up in just a few minutes. All right, tonight at the Oakland Coliseum, returning to its roots as a soccer venue. We'll take you back to April 16, 1967. That's when the Oakland Clippers hosted one of the first professional soccer games in the U.S. when the National Professional Soccer League kicked off. And fun fact, that was 1 year before the Oakland A's moved into town. Soccer legend Pele even played here back in 1968, as well as many other international teams, including even the San Jose Earthquakes. We welcome you back here to our Oakland Roots special, of course, highlighting the next chapter of the Roots as they take on their home games here at the Oakland Coliseum, happening for the first time here tonight. Joining us to talk more about it, Jordan Farrell, technical director here at the Oakland Roots. We appreciate you joining us. Are you cold, by the way?
Man, it's going to be a chilly night. It's going to be a chilly night, but it'll be hot on the field.
Hey, I'm gonna hit you with some technical questions real quick here. The first two matches, Roots were able to score 2 goals apiece. They dropped both games. You start off with the 4-4-2 in each of these games. Should we expect anything different in the lineup and the formation tonight?
Yeah, there'll be some changes to the lineup for sure. First couple of games of the season, last season we struggled to score goals down the stretch, and that was a big emphasis kicking off the offseason. And I think we started off pretty brightly. Not only the 2 goals in each game, but also the opportunities that weren't converted. So that was a real positive. And I think, our defense is going to get stronger and stronger game after game. And tonight I think we're really going to tighten the screws on it.
You're winless against San Antonio FC. What do you need to do tonight to get that W here?
They've been a tough, really tough side to match up against. They've got veteran defenders. They've got very dynamic attackers. And I think the game's going to be won and lost in the midfield, if I'm being honest. I really like our midfield with Panos' addition, Tyler's addition, Gomez really growing into year 3 as a pro. And I think tonight, if we can control that, stop Jorge Hernandez, and really get behind their defense, we're going to have some chances.
Jordan, I don't know if you've talked to any of the players today before the game, but playing in a venue like this has to shift a mindset in some way, even though you're coming into this 0-2. I know you played. What does that do to a player's mindset coming into a place as historic as the Oakland Coliseum?
I mean, they're very hungry. I talked to some of the guys earlier, but we also had the guys in during the week last week just to kind of take it all in, right? So they understood what they were walking into. The guys are really hungry. They're excited to get to work. You know, when you're in a slump, the really good players, they really are just eager to get another bite at the apple. And I think that's the group that we've got. So tonight, you know, it's a match. It's a very important match. It's the first home match of the season, and I think the support that we're going to have in the stands is really going to add to the fuel in their flame, and we're going to see a good performance.
Absolutely, Jordan. Thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the game tonight. We got to talk about an underappreciated part of not just soccer, but really all sports, and that is the role that a groundskeeper plays. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. It could be football, baseball, soccer. Fields are so important when it comes to preventing injuries, the look of the field for fans, and our very own Claudine Wong talked to the groundskeeper who prepared this field ahead of the match.
If you are looking for Clay Wood, chances are you'll find him out on this stretch of green with his dog Reba by his side. How many games have you been here for?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to do the math, but a lot of...
You've never done the math?
25 years worth of Raider football games, and then 30 years worth of A's baseball games, plus playoffs and exhibition games and concerts and soccer matches.
Since the 90s, Wood has been the head groundskeeper for the Oakland A's and has converted this grass from football to baseball. And now he'll do it for soccer and the Oakland Roots.
We've had some pretty big matches, Mexico friendly matches with, 50,000 screaming fans, and but it hasn't been anything constant like this. So I think that's really where the learning curve is getting to know the game, how it's going to affect the playability of the field, the wear on the field, things like that. And we're going to kind of have to get into that as we go, but we're starting in a really good spot.
And for him, that means something, because working here isn't just a job. It's part of who he is. This is where he met his wife. He was here when his kids were born. They grew up here. And when the A's left, they took a part of him with them.
I mean, just my attachment to that team, really. I mean, that was really our identity in so many ways, was the Coliseum, was the A's.
And on that final day, at that last game, after that final catch as he pulled a base from the field, he wasn't sure what the future would bring.
I think that was felt on just a lot of different levels. But for me personally, very, very emotional, very personal.
And so when it was announced that the Roots would call the Coliseum home, all of a sudden, there was a next step. So now we're talking corner kicks instead of home plate.
Correct. Corner kicks versus on deck.
His team has been working on this conversion for months.
So this, from the line to here, that's where the baseball foul territory was.
And there is still the unknown. Even Reba knows something's different.
She's a little weird. She doesn't really know what's going on. She's wondering where the players are in the clubhouse and, where all the people are, but she's pretty mellow, so she just kind of rolls with the flow.
But she knows something's different.
I think she does, actually.
But no matter the change, Clay Wood says there has always been one constant. From the Black Hole to the Oakland 68s, no matter who has played in the Coliseum, Oakland has shown up.
There is that I think, extraordinary passion with Oakland fans, and I think that's exciting for the Roots to have, hopefully that fan base and that support to come out and enjoy the Coliseum, continue the legacy just in a in a different way. All right, Reba, you ready? Come on.
So he's ready to do what they've always done. Make sure this field is ready. In Oakland, Claudine Wong, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Coming up, it's a league that brings big-time soccer to small communities nationwide. We're diving deeper into the USL and how it's continuing to grow year by year.
And the party does not just stop by the time that we finish this newscast. You can join us on the Fox Local app and on YouTube. Bailey and I will be right here watching kickoff in that whole first half with you. You can watch along with us, comment with us, we'll respond to you. That's on Fox Local and on YouTube. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are live at the Oakland Coliseum. Bailey O'Carroll joined by James Torrez. James, we're less than 15 minutes until the start of this game. The Roots opening up their season at home. Well, rather, they opened it up a couple weeks ago, but this is their first home game here at the Coliseum. It's nice and chilly out. And there's
freezing, I think,
there's
is a
a lot of fans here.
We could use a fire. We could use a heater. It is a breezy evening, a very crisp, cold evening, I should say. I want to talk a little bit about what the Roots actually play in these leagues. Soccer in the U.S. is pretty complicated. There are a bunch of different leagues. It's not at all like different models that you see in the European system. For instance, the MLS has nothing to do with the Oakland Roots. We're talking about the USL when we talk about that league. What exactly does that mean? Well, we dive a little deeper to explain.
The FIFA World Cup of 1994 practically gave birth to Major League Soccer. It is U.S. soccer's top-tier professional league and where you would find teams like the San Jose Earthquakes. The Oakland Roots are also a professional team, but their deal is just a little bit different.
it's really focused on putting soccer in as many communities as possible, professional soccer and amateur soccer.
The United States Soccer Federation makes all the rules, including how leagues are sanctioned. The MLS is the only sanctioned Division I league in the country. Then you have the United Soccer League, or the USL. Its top tier, a Division II league, it's the USL Championship, and that's where you'd find teams like the Oakland Roots. USL also runs Division III and pre-professional leagues.
We're looking forward to this growth coming out of the World Cup.
Jeremy Allenball is the president of the USL Championship. He says the MLS primarily focuses on America's biggest cities, but the USL brings its leagues to smaller communities and offers opportunities to play to people of all ages and skills.
I think we feel that we have a very unique spot in this country because of our pathway and because of how many soccer is not going to grow and be built as a sport coming out of the World Cup in 2026, where we all think it can continue to go by just being really focused only on 30 communities.
To grow the game, the USL is creating a new Division I league, which would play parallel to the MLS. It would be the only organization with Division I, II, and III leagues under the U.S. Soccer Federation. That means the Oakland Roots, in the next 3 years, could have the opportunity to play Division I professional soccer.
We have the stadium that fits. The Bay Area is a top 3 market in the United States, so there's a lot of those pieces to the puzzle that are in place, and I think we'll see over the course of the next few years what Division I looks like as the rollout comes. But we're certainly a part of that conversation.
With that comes the introduction of promotion and relegation between the leagues for the first time in U.S. history. That means a poor-performing D1 team would get relegated down to D2 at the end of the season, and the top D2 team would be promoted to the top tier.
But I think the fans have shown, and especially American fans, very recently have shown an interest in drama at the top and the bottom of the table, right? Too often we see in other sport models in the United States where, the latter half of the season is actually about how best can we tank to set ourselves up for the offseason.
This new format is not meant to replace or even really challenge the MLS, but rather give people the most opportunity to enjoy and play the sport. It'll also give small towns the chance to become nationwide powerhouses.
If this sport is going to continue to grow and make the inroads and the leaps and bounds that it has made over the last 10 to 20 years, it's going to need to happen in more than 30 communities.
So the idea of pro rel, that's something that a lot of soccer, like really big passion
Welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum. We're less than 5 minutes from this game. The stadium pretty packed, that lower bowl. We've got a lot of Oakland Roots fans here. Claudine Wong just walked onto our set here. She didn't hear me, so she's not going to come say hi, but that's okay. There's Claudine. But yeah, James, it's packed. People are excited. You can tell that these Oakland fans were just hungry to have a team back here.
It's really cool to see Fields transition from what it was before to what it is now. I mean, Oracle Park did it a couple years ago. They welcomed some major clubs to the field, and they completely changed, removed the mound, removed the bases, completely changed it to a world-class soccer field. So it's cool to see the Oakland Coliseum kind of switch back and forth and be something like that.
There's a lot of different community groups who are here. The team also doing a lot to honor this Oakland community, and one of the greats in Ricky Henderson. We mentioned in the 24th minute, they're going to have a minute of applause to honor his life, all he did for the city of Oakland. This field is called the Ricky Henderson Field, so that will be a special moment.
We also heard some sound checks for the national anthem. We know that a local high school sophomore from Oakland Tech is going to be handling that for us. But the party is just getting started. Join us on the Fox Local app and on YouTube. Bailey and I will still be here. You can interact with us as we kick off the Oakland Roots' first match here at the Oakland Coliseum. We'll see you in a bit. All right, we made it.
We did. Welcome back.
We are now on YouTube, the Fox Local app, and we will be here for the entirety of the first half here at the Oakland Roots as they kick off the first game at home of the 2025 USL Championship season and their first ever game at the Oakland Coliseum. More importantly, hello, Claudine Wong. Thanks for joining us.
We got her over here.
I'm so excited.
Are you freezing? We're freezing.
No, I've got Oakland Roots here.
Okay, in about 15 minutes, you'll be freezing.
Yeah.
Oh no. Come on, it's fine. You guys are perched in like the best spot though, so
It's true.
you get a little wind, but you get an amazing view. So
Well, James has a jersey on. He might be able to get out there. They might not notice.
Listen, I've done that already. You saw that story. I did a little training session with the Oakland, and
I did.
it didn't go great.
It went well. These guys are pros. You know?
Yeah.
Claudina, we just aired your package about the groundskeeper, and I want to ask you more about that.
Sure.
We have questions about the dog.
Reba?
Yes.
We're friends.
You're friends.
She didn't say much to me, but she let me pet her and she hung out with me. She's 9 years old and she just comes here and this is her spot, and she was a little confused, he was saying, about why the players weren't in the dugouts, but she's going to get on board with,
Is she going to be here tonight?
I don't think she's here tonight, but there's a long season ahead, and so she's very
Do they
excited.
need a mascot? The Roots need a mascot?
Well, we talked about that. I'm like,
Okay.
they should have one. Like, Reba was totally in it. And, I mean, I got to tell you guys, when I walked up here, so I did the BART, crossing over, I was taking videos of, it was packed.
Yeah.
The vibe in there, there's Let's Go Oakland that just starts spontaneously. This vibe and what is happening here tonight is unreal and awesome.
When's the last? Sorry.
Go ahead.
When's the last time you remember seeing Oakland like that?
I mean, listen, if you've been to an Oakland A's game, and I loved the A's, I'm not trying to say past tense, but I have loved the A's my whole life. If you went to some of the final A's games, not the ones where all the fans were kind of showing up, but like just those last final seasons, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was empty.
Yeah.
It was, you'd buy, they always say, buy a ticket somewhere, and they'll let you sit closer. You don't just get in, because it was, you didn't see, I mean, you couldn't get through the overpass to the Coliseum. There was a line to get in.
Wow.
I haven't seen this in a long, and there's a lot of joy in here. I mean, everyone is so excited. I was just thinking from the days of Laney College to Pioneer Stadium and how different that was for this club. It had a dream of when KTVU partnered with them, and it was this idea that the town would show up, and the town has shown up. Like, it is I can't just describe it as anything else but the vibe of what is happening here.
It's a different sport, but the idea of build a field and they'll come.
Yes.
You know?
Or if you already have the field, they'll also come.
Change the field.
Change the field, and they will come.
Yeah.
But that is what, going back to Clay, the groundskeeper, was saying. He's like, the one thing about Oakland is it didn't matter if the Raiders were winning or losing. The Black Holes showed up. They came, and it didn't really matter if the A's that were having. It's more fun. I've been there when they were winning. Obviously, when teams win, it's fun. But there's this group that shows up, and so he was saying, you're going to change the field, but the constant, it's these fans. They show up, and they're so excited to be here. All the Roots gear, everything that's happening, and I was thinking about all the co-founders and sitting in those early days going, we really believe. They must be here tonight and be like, what?
Yeah. We talked to Mike earlier, and he was like, you just can't fathom that it happened. I mean, he believed right from day zero, but it's
tonight.
Amazing
This is the field of dreams.
Yeah.
Like this is what dreams. And these players who are like, we signed on to be on the Roots because we believed in what the team was standing for. We believed.
They were just
in
playing
it.
at a college campus a year ago,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and look at this stadium and the Coliseum and the life that we thought was over for the Coliseum too. Clay didn't know if he would have a job. He had been doing this for 30 plus years. The A's were like, they're leaving, and that was his whole life. That was his family. And then all of a sudden, he's talking to them, and he's out here making sure the pitch is looking good, and learning as he goes. I mean, there's just so many great stories. And Reba has a place to come to work still.
Let me ask you this, Scotty. We've been reporters here for a couple of years. You've been a reporter here for a while. I mean, you mentioned you grew up here too. Can you talk a little bit about the heartbreak of when Oakland loses the Raiders, they lose the A's, they lose the Warriors? What did kind of news coverage look like then? What were people saying then?
I think what it was is that the Raiders had left and come back, so the heartbreak, they knew what that felt like, right? They knew that it was possible. They saw it happen. When all of that was talking about these three teams leaving, they thought, okay, Raiders, football, not that many games. How do you make that sustainable? They thought, okay, the Warriors, they're really a regional team. Yeah. And even though they're in San Francisco, there wasn't a competition like there is with Niners and Raiders, and Giants and A's. The A's, I think, felt like, and so we knew something was going to happen. We knew and I say Oakland, I was born in Oakland, we knew, and we had talked to all the lawmakers and the local politicians, and they were like, let's try to save.
I want to mention really fast, we're underway now. The home opener here at the Coliseum for the Oakland Roots. Again, we mentioned they start the season 0-2, looking for their first win tonight. We talked to Jordan Farrell, who I know you know, Claudine, and I asked him about the mentality of the players in the locker room and how it changes when they know that they're going to play on a stage like this. And he said it certainly changes. James, I know you were an athlete. I was an athlete, but I don't like to talk about it. I was very good. We won't go there. But
Let's take a note of that. Ask Bailey about that later.
Sorry, Claudia, not to cut you off.
No,
but
history's being made. You got to pause and note that history's being made.
Exactly.
And there you see the fans.
Look at that.
It's tough. It's tough to start a season, especially on the road.
Yes.
It's tough to start with 2 losses, especially this last game against Monterey. I mean, it was only a margin of 1 goal, 3-2 was the final score. Monterey had a red card, so they were playing a man down for some minutes of the game, which is usually supposed to be a huge advantage for a team like the Roots. So for them to drop that game and enter the home opener 0-2, that's really tough. Not to mention, San Antonio, not only undefeated, they haven't even let in a goal yet. So they're a pretty strong team right now.
I feel like it's early.
Can we get a prediction?
It's game 3,
Can we get a
sure.
Claudine Wong
It's game 3.
prediction?
I mean, I think the prediction
Did you make a couple phone
is-
calls to the team?
Yes. I'm like, listen, we had a strategy session. No, we did not. But I just feel like this has always been about more than soccer.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if a single person in here is like, oh, yet. I mean, there's a time, right? And whether you talk to Jordan or you talk to Mike or you talk to Idris or any of the co-founders, they all want to win. Let's be clear on that. They're all competitive and they all want this to be a place where there's dominance on the pitch. But I think it's sitting in this moment and going, and really for them to visit, and for someone else to go to. Did you go to the Roots home opener?
Yeah.
Did you know that there were no more tickets? Did you know that Too Short was playing at halftime and performing? Like, it is this idea of what this can be. And so, yes, I think that's a hard place to sit.
I mean, more like in the perspective of an athlete.
Absolutely.
I mean, that might very well all be wiped away because you have this crowd. You have drums blowing in your ears, here. So.
Well, I just think it is. If you were feeling down, here's the way to feel up.
Yeah.
Here's the way to say we have the wind at our back, and maybe that didn't start the way we wanted to, and maybe there's been so many unknowns that it's hard, and you have a lot of new players, right? A lot of coaching changes, a lot of additions and changes to this team. So the people who've been there from the beginning, there's very few people who can say on this team, on this pitch right now, oh yeah, well, we did this, and we did this. But I think the challenge has been to, no matter who enters the team and no matter who leaves the team, that this we're more than soccer is the constant. And so that whoever signs up and says, yeah, I want to be a part of this next chapter, is the person saying, I buy into everything that you're selling, which means when I look around tonight, really no matter what, this journey of where this league is going and where this team is going and where Oakland is going and what it means to have fans show up, and going back to what we were saying about how broken people were, is they're like, at least we can save the A's because they have more teams, they have more games, they have more invested, and they leaned into that idea for a long time. There was heartbreak over how long that journey had been, how much so many of us had been attached to it, how all the talk through all the years of the San Jose A's or the Fremont A's or all the places they might go never came to pass. And I think when that one finally came to pass, it's still like when I talk about the A's in Sacramento or when I go to Vegas, I'm like, I don't want to say anything because, it's hard for me to say, how did this happen? And then I came in here today and I walked in and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We were very much saying, throughout even the show that we just had, this isn't just like an Oakland Roots soccer game. This is an Oakland sports game.
It's a community event.
It's a community event. Yeah. This is is that on the post? Oh, no, okay. We've got a little bit of delay on my screen here. So
slight delay.
And just on cue, it's a community event.
San Antonio scores the first goal.
Less than 5 minutes in, but
so keeping their 3-game streak alive of scoring, being the first to score. But, we're only talking about the 5th minute of the game here,
here's
so plenty to go.
That was never change. Oakland fans never change.
Long ball from their own third. Look at that, gets it right into the box, centers the ball.
Right into the.
There needs to be some better defending there.
Corner.
There needs to be a little bit better defending there. I think we're going to have one of our guys from the Roots come back, and we can ask him some questions about this. But this was something I think we talked to Jordan Farrell about it.
Yeah.
He said that's something they really need to tighten up on. He likes their defense, but they need to tighten up there. They're gonna lose some of the momentum in the middle in the midfield too. So.
And Claudine, we will let you go. I see your husband over there. I think he wants to go watch the game.
He's like, "Are you working?"
Right now? It's okay.
I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna go and scream and cheer and make sure that."
Loud enough for us to hear you up here.
There is a lot of match left to play.
Exactly. This is just the beginning.
I dropped my phone.
This is just the beginning. Oh, it went
enjoy the Too Short concert.
Enjoy
Too Short.
Yes,
I'm gonna go and
any food you're most excited to get?
This is really what's next on my stop.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get some food. There's so much food. There were long lines, but I think now that the match has started,
there you go.
The food is waiting for me. Yes, and
go do it.
Oh.
We were smelling the churros.
Oh my God, James!
Someone should bring you food. Okay, bye guys.
Bye, Claudine. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for coming to
hang out.
Thanks
for letting Claudine stop by.
Thanks for being a part of history. Thanks for marking this moment in history. People will remember this night. We're gonna win. The Roots will win.
There you go.
But we will remember this night for a lot of other reasons.
Absolutely.
All right, see you guys.
Enjoy.
Great
Claudine.
job.
So speaking of fans. I gotta get the YouTube stream up so we can
we
actually
gotta see what people are saying. Start talking to us. Start talking to us.
Yeah.
Start with us. Oh.
And Roots just scored.
Oh, wow.
They just scored. Beautiful.
What What a time. What a time to walk in.
And you're going to come in right at the right time. Interim Oakland Mayor Kevin Jenkins joining us for a couple minutes here. Oakland equalizing here. The Roots get their first goal of the season. How beautiful.
No, that could have been worse timing, right?
Yeah.
Well, you get settled in. We'll let the folks at home enjoy this moment. First ever goal at the Oakland Coliseum for the Oakland Roots.
Equalizers. Their first goal at the Coliseum for the Roots.
Exciting. I was happy to see that.
We're watching the replay right now. Wow, what a move.
So it seems like it's going to be an exciting game today.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
No, I'm absolutely here for it too.
What do you, okay, so tell us, Claudine Wong was just here and she told us all about the vibe coming in. She said she took part, it was jam-packed. Said clearly there is a hunger in Oakland for a team to cheer for. People want a team to cheer for. What was your take? What's your take on the vibe here tonight?
So Oakland are rabid sports fans.
Yeah.
Oakland will root on anything, and especially the teams that actually want to be here, right? So if the Roots are going to be here, Oakland fans are going to come out. It gives me the vibe of how the Raiders game used to be, right? Raiders game, you didn't need a ticket. You just go to a tailgate. Somebody's going to feed you. Somebody's going to give you something to drink, and they give you a ticket to get in the game, and this is what it's given.
I think soccer culture honestly reflects that a lot. There have been a number of USA soccer games that I've been to.
Yeah.
Very much the same thing. They welcome you with open arms. You know, there's a little, smack talking here and there. There's a lot of competition, but in a fun, cool way, making sure everyone has a good time. Food gets shared all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Mayor Jenkins, just tell us a little bit about what you've experienced just walking here, walking into the doors and walking throughout the Coliseum.
So it's a pride that I've experienced, right? There's a lot of folks that are just happy that sports are back here in Oakland. So I went to the last A's game. It was really somber, and I'm glad they're going, right? But we have a team that wants to be here, and I can feel that in the fans.
Yeah, I know when they scored, James and I were saying goodbye to Claudine, half watching the screen in front of us, and these fans, I mean, it's unbelievable. I've come to went to multiple A's games as a fan, and it was almost probably 2 years ago to the day, or not quite to the day because the season wouldn't have started yet. But I mean, you could sit anywhere, and this, you look, it's packed.
Yeah.
It's packed. Over 26,000 tickets sold here, a record for active teams. It's incredible to see.
I haven't seen a bad seat in the house yet.
No.
That's the beauty of older stadiums like the Coliseum.
Yes.
I think the modern stadiums really try to get the most bang for the buck. So these nosebleeds can be really tough.
Well,
but the
and then you
Coliseum,
have some of those seats that are if you stand up, you feel like you're going to fall forward because they're so steep. But I grew up in San Diego, and we had Qualcomm Stadium. The Padres used to play, and the Chargers used to play, and they made it so you can. It could go kind of both ways. Obviously, different sports, but still, two different fields can be set up here, and there is not a bad seat.
So I was just about to ask you, are you a Padres fan?
Well,
on
yes.
the spot,
Okay.
on the spot in the stream, Mayor. Come
I know.
on.
I know.
No,
I'm
it's
scared.
fine. It's fine. So Tony Gwynn days or after Tony Gwynn days?
Tony, my dad raised me as a Padres fan, so I would say Tony Gwynn days.
So you didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Tony Gwynn days, and then I remember kind of when I started really paying attention was when they had Trevor Hoffman, Khalil Green, and then really there was a large chunk of my childhood that they were irrelevant. I hate to say, but they just weren't good. And then now they're back.
Oh, they're back.
They're back. In San Diego, I compare San Diego fans a little bit to Oakland. Obviously, we lost the Chargers. We lost the Clippers many decades ago, but we still lost them. The LA Clippers, if you're not a basketball fan, they love something to cheer for, right? And I see it's a weird comparison between San Diego and Oakland, but I'm telling you it works because people are just so friendly. And
when you had that run in the Final Four,
San Diego State?
2 years ago.
I was at the game.
That was nuts.
Yeah,
it was.
Now, did you go to San Diego State?
No, but I was raised. I went to Arizona State, but I was raised as a San Diego State fan. So I would, for all my ASU alum, I'm so sorry to say this, but I would cheer for if they played each other. I'm cheering for San Diego State. But Arizona State have had a phenomenal college football season this year, so obviously I rooted them on all the way. But it's. I'll get back to Oakland here, but it's refreshing.
Yeah.
To see all these fans and see all of them so into it and so just hungry for a team that wants to be here.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So next game, I'm going to go out and tailgate.
Okay.
Right? So I didn't get to tailgate this
Okay.
time, but I'm going to go out and tailgate. That's how you can really tell if this is by. But I imagine that it's going to continue, that Oakland fans are going to continue to support the Roots. And I just keep looking over my shoulder, looking at all the people that are out here.
I want to real quick talk, because the whole point of this stream, of course, is to get the engagement from all of you at home. So if you're watching with us, thank you so much for being here. You can go on our YouTube stream, make some comments. Shout out to the guy who told us we got chapstick, because they know just how cold we are out here. We're feeling that breeze, feeling that real cold wind coming our way, so appreciate that. Lots of Let's Go Oakland. Shout out to Laney College, which is where the Roots used to play some of their home games. So we appreciate everyone that's chiming in and throwing their comments.
Mayor,
with us. We're going to be doing this for the whole first half, so you've got plenty of time.
One last question before we take a quick break and let you go watch the game. You said you're going to go tailgate next home game. Do you have a favorite tailgate food?
Interesting. So I'm not the biggest beef eater.
Okay.
But at tailgates, tri-tip is really good. Right?
You do a tri-tip at a tailgate?
A tri-tip at a tailgate.
Invite me to that tailgate.
Yeah. So we're probably going to have to go out beforehand. I'm going to schedule some time for us to go out beforehand. And then we can taste the different foods, and then we come back on there and say what our favorite is.
Right on, right on. Okay.
I just did that with all the food new food at Oracle Park this year. I was telling James beforehand, I was like, this will give me a few weeks to recover from trying all that new food,
Nice.
and then we'll do this. But thank you so much for the time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, we appreciate it. Go enjoy the game.
We'll do.
And we're going to take a quick break, but we will be right back with you. And again, talk to me and James on YouTube. Let us know your favorite tailgate foods.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be soccer. Talk to us about anything.
March Madness?
Yeah, make it food, make it March Madness, make it,
the upcoming baseball season?
Whatever you want, we'll be here and we'll yap. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we'll be right back. welcome back to the Coliseum. The wave underway here.
Yeah, like it or not, wave at sports games.
Well, I never do it because I was telling you before, I rarely go to a game as a fan, but yeah, I like it. I think I like it. The very few things in today's world bring people together.
Yeah.
The wave brings people together, you know?
It's corny, but I'm going to do it every time.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be that person that
Exactly.
doesn't do it. Here comes James, do it right now.
Oh, I just missed it.
Just missed it. It's okay.
All right, we are level right now, 1-1 against San Antonio FC. This would be, if the Roots can pull out the win, it would be the first time they ever beat them in their matchup. I think they've played about 7 different times. Justin Rasmussen for the Roots, getting the goal off a corner kick. And that's what we're here for, to tell you all about not just the Roots, the Coliseum, and really just to chat about anything. And if you're with us on YouTube, give us some comments. Tell us what's going on. I thought I saw someone say something about
You're watching
San Diego.
it from the warmth of your... Oh, did somebody shout... Okay, San Diego.
I want
my
to
people.
say. I might have missed that.
Well, I can tell you, if you're watching at home on YouTube, I can tell you it's absolutely freezing out here. I had to step out to use the restroom really quick, and it took me forever because my hands had to thaw out. I couldn't use my hands. It's freezing. I don't think we were expecting it to be this cold, but the players are warm.
Yeah, and it's not even so much that the air is so cold, but we're getting this incredible amount of wind, this incredible amount of breeze, very much like Oracle Park.
I was never able to go to Candlestick, like that was before I moved to the Bay, but I'm imagining that the experience I'm having right now is like Candlestick Park days.
In about a minute and a half, in about 90 seconds, they're going to do something really cool here. They're going to honor, do a little tribute for Ricky Henderson. At the 24th minute, it's going to be 1 minute of applause. Oh, that's a clean tackle.
Slight delay here, so I was just looking over my shoulder to see.
Yeah, a lot of it. The fans are roaring. That's the excitement about a soccer game. I mean, every sport, of course, this big uniqueness of how fans react to certain plays. Football. You've got it kind of stops after every play, right? Big play, we roar for a minute, and then you kind of wait. But with soccer, you got guys who just go all 90 minutes. Yeah, I mean, there are people who are playing drums for the entirety of the 90 minutes of the game, which is just
maybe I should be doing that to stay warm. Yeah. I don't know if anybody would want to hear that, but I might need to, out of necessity, I might need to do it to stay warm.
We could tell someone to bring a drum up here.
Exactly.
Get us a little workout while we're at it, too.
Or if I just stand up in the middle of the stream here and start doing jumping jacks.
When Padres had pink, green, brown, turquoise uniforms, that's when I became a Padre fan.
Pink, green. Those are the City Connect jerseys now. I believe that's what they're talking about.
That's what one guy
It's like the white jersey with the pink numbers. Those are the City Connect jerseys now, I believe. But I was a Padres fan back when they were blue and white.
All right, so now they've got a dead ball at the 24th minute, so I imagine we'll hear some sort of announcement that might acknowledge. Here we go.
Join us in a minute of applause to honor Oakland's very own, the great Ricky Henderson.
Standing ovation here, fans standing up, clapping for a man who really needed no introduction, Ricky Henderson, a legend, not just here in Oakland, but really across the country. Obviously, one of the best baseball players of all time, and he loved Oakland so much, and I think what was so special about him is that Oakland loved him right back. I know when he passed away back on December 20th of this past year, one of the things that blew me away is, I in this job, I hear a lot about a lot of athletes across all different levels, whether it be high school, college, pros. And I've heard very few people talk about an athlete like they talked about Ricky Henderson. Maybe Steph is the only one where who he was off the field, off the court, in Steph's case, equates to all of their incredible accomplishments on the field, or court, which is just so rare to see.
I feel like Ricky Henderson is the only athlete I've heard so many people say they've met. So many people around Oakland. We were doing stories when he passed away. Everyone would come out to the Coliseum, put down memorabilia and flowers and all that, but everyone had a photo with him.
Yeah.
And one woman I remember told me a story about how she got some meet and greet with her son. Her son was really young at the time, and they were either able to get a signed photo or a signed jersey. They couldn't do both.
Okay.
And so she really wanted the memory for her son. So she convinced the son, like, hey, get the photo.
Yeah.
Like, I know the jersey
Last
seems cool,
one.
but yeah,
Well,
but the son wanted the jersey.
Yeah, okay.
So Ricky saw this like exchange between the two, so he made sure they got both. And those are the kind of stories you hear constantly about him. But I guess he just went out of his way all the time to make sure he was meeting the fans, which not every athlete does.
No, and you know, you understand it when you think about the volume of fans that are out there. It's sometimes hard or weird to think about it in that way, but they're human just like everybody else. They have places to be, things to do, and there are a few of them that they understand the role that they have, and they couldn't be happier to have that role. Ricky Henderson, one of them. I think Steph, one of them. I don't want to talk about the Niners locker room. George Kittle, one of them. Fred Warner, the same way. And those guys just love what they do, and they understand that what they do is so special, and very few people ever get to become a professional athlete, especially a professional athlete to the level of those guys that I just named. And so they get giving back because they were those kids at one point.
In some cases, that's why they became the athletes,
right?
Because they were so inspired by what those other athletes gave them.
Amazing.
Checking back with some of these comments here, there have been some questions about if you're able to watch the game on the stream. We can't do that legally, okay? So we're your second screen. So we should be on your tablet, on your phone or something. You got to get the game on your TV. You can also get the game on some of the other devices. It's on.
Or if you have another phone or an iPad or laptop.
Yeah. So have the main screen as the game going on right now. It's airing right now on KTVU Plus, and then have us
Channel 32, right?
Channel 32, right? Have us on your phone or the iPad. We're the Manning cast, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, we're here just to kind of talk along with the game, kind of tell you what's going on here outside of the field.
A lot of booze if you can't hear that.
We're not happy with the refs call here. Camden Riley, he and I had a chance to, I don't know if the word play together is right. He was playing around. I was wheezing and trying my best. We had a chance to do this story with the Roots and try to see. Just I challenged them to like a bunch of skill games.
Okay. Did you beat him at anything?
No,
okay.
No. And they said one of our challenges was this penalty shootout, and I was playing goalkeeper, and then they had their own goalkeeper too. So we did a shootout, best out of 5, and one of the coaches or one of the technical staff said if I could save one of them, they would have come up with some crazy punishment for that player. There was one I got a fingertip on. It still went in, but fingertip. I scored mine though. I only missed one.
There you go. That'd be better than me. I would actually run out of the way, the opposite way. We do have an injury, it looks like, on the field.
It looks like an injury for a San Antonio player here.
It's like maybe a right quad or a right hip injury. So the stadium obviously has gotten a little quiet for that reason, for that player. Looks like he maybe took a cleat to the leg there.
Yeah, always done out of respect. We always appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's check in with some of these comments again. We got someone watching from Tampa, Florida. That's cool. They say
James
go
is
Coliseum.
home state.
Home state, yeah.
The Florida Gators. Not in Tampa, but...
I'm so happy you brought that up. You mean the #1 seed Florida Gators?
No.
Who are
yes.
one of the high favorites to win the NCAA tournament this year? Is that who you're talking about?
I have no teams left in it. My Sun Devils did not make the tournament. My Aztecs.
You had football this year, though.
Yeah. The New Year's Day game was insane.
That was.
It was.
Scattaboo.
Yeah,
just
Cam
playing
Scattaboo.
the game of his life.
Yeah,
puking on the sideline.
And then the memes of that were so funny. They were like, "This is he went to Arizona State."
Yeah.
He's just throwing up on the sideline and then getting out.
He's a short dude.
He is. I think he's like 5'7".
Yeah. Well, short dude compared to.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, decently short dude. Yeah.
But he's a bowling ball, if you will. Relatively short, and I might have undersold him a little bit now. I think he might be like 5'8", 5'9", but if you look on the stat sheet, though, he's 6'2".
Yeah.
But he
Round up
is
always.
a person I would never want. I mean, not that I get in fights, but like I would never want to get into a fight with him.
He'll just ram you over.
Yeah, he might not even see me, to be honest.
No, that was a heartbreaking game.
Was it Texas?
Yeah, that's
never
right.
forget Texas. I'll never forget that one.
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day game.
That was a fun one.
A good save there.
Going back to March Madness.
Yeah.
Florida's winning it all. I'm going to call that right now. I'm going to confidently say that. Led by a coach by the name of Todd Golden, a San Francisco guy.
Yeah.
San Francisco kid. He coached the Dons 3 years ago, a couple years ago. Yeah. Took them to a tournament appearance for the first time in a long time. They lost in the first round. But they played great. I mean, enough for Florida to pick him up, and he's been doing great things with them since. And if they win tomorrow's game, I got to remember who they're playing against, but if they win tomorrow, they'll play the Sweet 16 at Chase Center. So a little bit of a homecoming.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
This upcoming
Thursday or Friday,
yeah. Let's see. What do we got on YouTube? We got a big Ricky, bunch of exclamation points. Some guy asked, is it cold at the Coliseum?
Oh my God.
Sure is.
It's freezing. I'm so cold.
Absolutely freezing.
Yeah,
at the
I don't know if you
Coliseum.
can tell. I keep putting my hands here, so I can't really feel my fingers.
We got someone watching the Oakland Roots from Guadalajara.
Wow.
In Mexico.
You know, I just visited Mexico for the first time 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
We love
country.
to see that.
Gorgeous
That's how you know the Roots, spreading the Roots all over the world.
I like what you did there, James. That was real
It wasn't
smooth.
that creative.
It's okay.
That's all I can think of right now. My brain is frozen.
It is very, very cold out here. I've been to many games where it's quite chilly out, but I've also been to many games where it's not that cold out when you're from San Diego and then go to college in Arizona. This is about as cold as it gets.
Have you done a snow game of any sport?
Oh, I've been to a game at the University of Utah. It was a college game I was covering for Arizona State, but no snow.
No snow.
No snow. It was a fall game, so no snow. But I will say, my family, I grew up a Packers fan. This is a learn about Bailey time. I know both my parents are from Wisconsin, so that's the why on that one. But they have season tickets for Packers games in Green Bay, and so obviously I'm going to be at most of the Niners games this year.
Yeah.
But if that bye week lines up and there's a home game at Lambeau for the Packers, I will be there, and I might experience my first frozen game. Yeah.
Well,
Check it. I'll bring it
second to this blizzard that's going on right now.
Exactly. It's probably 65 degrees out there. I can check right now.
I've had a lot of friends.
62.
62. Oh, gosh,
Yeah.
we are weenies. Gosh. I've had so many friends who say a snow game is because a rainy game.
It's just unfortunate.
If you love your team, right, and you're watching a team, you're not going to care what the weather is. You're going to watch it no matter what.
Yeah.
But a rainy game is absolutely miserable.
That's how you know
Absolutely
that separates the fans from just absolute
From the super
diehards.
fans, yeah. But then I'm told that the snow games not as miserable.
That's what I've heard too. And you know where I want to go see a Bills game in Buffalo.
Oof.
I want to eat a garbage plate alongside of it. If anybody's watching from Buffalo, you know what I'm talking about. It's not actual garbage on a plate if you're here in the Bay Area, but yeah. Oh, was that a delay? Was that a replay? Are we watching
that's a replay. That's a replay of the first goal. Yeah.
Sorry about that. We're on a replay, and
I was going to say, I feel like we would have heard some eruption.
I was like, the stadium's silent, but there is, yeah. So things have.
We are level right now, 1-1, 34 minutes into the game. We're here with you until halftime, which halftime going to be a lot of fun. Too Short's going to be here. He'll be performing.
I know.
And then we've got a really exciting second half as these teams duke it out. I think San Antonio, top of the table right now. We're only 2 matches into the season, so really anything can go. They have not even let in a single goal, so this is the first goal that they've allowed all season.
Yeah.
Only 3 games in, but very telling of how much the Roots are trying to fight for this one.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked to Jordan, technical director for the Roots, Jordan Farrell, about is just the mindset coming into this game. And I don't want to compare it to March Madness because that's going to sound crazy, and you're going to be like, Bailey, what are you talking about? 2 different sports, 2 different levels, obviously. But you talk about a mindset of being on a certain stage for these athletes and these players, and I know, and I've covered multiple NCAA tournaments, and they realize that they are on a different stage, and that takes their play to another level. And we talk about these Roots players here know that they are on this stage here at the historic Oakland Coliseum, and how that takes their mindset to a different place, which in turn takes their play to a different level here. And I think we're seeing it in real time. Obviously, the team scoring that equalizer just about 5 minutes or less after San Antonio scored the opening goal here.
Something they're really good at, the Roots are really good at, and that I've noticed, at least in the last 2 matches and even just the first part of this first half, they draw a lot of fouls. I mean, they were able to draw a red card against Monterey FC during their last match, and drawing fouls gives you these set plays. They scored that equalizer off a corner kick set play, and set plays, I've always been taught as a player, even as a coach too, a set play should almost always lead to goals. Like that, that is the goal of a set play.
It's a free throw in basketball, essentially.
It should be. It should be. You know, it gives you a chance to put the ball wherever you want it, and if you outsmart your opponent, that's a goal, and that can be significant to the match. So that seems to be the advantage the Roots have. They put themselves in a position to draw those fouls. You know, they're winning and earning corner kicks, so hopefully that puts them in a spot where they can actually get the ball on target, give this goalkeeper a little bit of a challenge. See if he gets this rip. It's a little far, but you know, that is an important element in the game. You know, it's not just running and going for these long through balls and trying to tap it into the back of the net. You know, you want to work out some strategies to get these set plays and give yourself something, a really creative way to get a goal.
Absolutely, and I think that is what is so special about the game of soccer in some ways, which sounds kind of crazy, but just the strategy behind it, and you know, I wish we would have had more time with the players kind of ahead of this game so that we could have talked to that point maybe about a little bit about their game plan, but Jordan talked a little bit about it, obviously coming off the 2 straight losses to open up the season, and that does light a fire under you a little bit as a player, and then obviously wanting to come in here to the Coliseum and get this opening win, first win of the season, also in front of all of these fans. I mean, the
Oakland in
packed.
general, like the city of Oakland they're winning tonight. I mean, you're uniting so many different people of so many different backgrounds, so many different fans. I can bet you there are a couple people here, a good chunk of people here, who maybe have never been to a soccer game before.
Yeah, Claudine was saying that.
Yeah.
That Claudine Wong joining us earlier here on the stream and telling us that, you know, there are a number of people who have never been to a soccer game, because if you live in Oakland, I mean, let's be honest, if you came to the Coliseum before, it was really baseball.
Yeah.
Came to an A's game, and then obviously the Raiders were here, and then the Warriors were here. Now it looks like did we get a yellow card there?
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. I think there was a challenge to the goalkeeper here, who's down right now. This is what the Roots have seemed to be doing really right these last couple of games, getting the fouls drawn, getting their opposing players to a position where they're earning these cards. So now you've got a yellow card this guy has to deal with the rest of this match. They were able to draw a red card last game here. Those are significant things, because now, as a player, if you're on a yellow card, it's very...
You're not going to play the same.
Right.
Play a little more careful.
Yeah, it's like when you have 4 fouls in an NBA game. You know, you're very mindful of that, and now you're thinking, do I need to go as hard for this next layup? Do I need to go as hard at this next tackle? You know, what is the kind of risk reward in these situations?
The payoff of it,
and you know, you never want to challenge the goalkeeper, because that almost always will lead to some sort of booking.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about. We like to do this because it's fun, it's casual. This is our second soccer special we've hosted together.
It is.
Shout out to Bay FC, also playing their home opener tonight. But you know, we want to educate you a little bit too on what this is all about. You keep seeing that USL graphic, and a lot of times when we talk about the Roots, we hear the question, well, why aren't they in the MLS? How are they? They're still a professional team, and why aren't they playing against the San Jose Earthquakes at any time? Well, it's the soccer structure in the U.S. is super different.
It's so different than any other professional sport.
You go to England, you know, and I think that's the most easiest, obvious model. England has the English Premier League, and they have just one kind of just straight down.
It's almost like
model.
a funnel. Sort of.
Really, it's. I think straight lines maybe just the best way to do it, because you've got your top tier Premier League, and you've got about 30 or so teams there. Bottom couple teams get relegated at the end of the season to the Division 2 level, and then top couple teams in the Division 2 level go up to the Premier League. USA doesn't do that.
No.
We just have a bunch of different leagues in all kinds of different directions.
And they're all sort of separate, basically.
They're all entirely
separate entities, if you
The
will.
MLS is the only one that has that Division 1 level. And all of that sanctioned by the U.S. Soccer Federation. So USL, a different league, a different model, they're trying to adopt that European model. In fact, they got the okay to do that. The only thing is they only have a Tier 2 and a Tier 3 division. USL Championship, which is what we're watching right now, the Oakland Roots, they play in that Division 2 level.
Yeah.
However, USL got the approval for a Division I league that'll basically rival the MLS. They'll be playing kind of parallel to each other. And they got the okay to do this promotion relegation kind of system. So in about 3-4 years from now, we could see the USL be this new kind of model of U.S. soccer that resembles what it looks like in places like England and the rest of Europe.
Which I think would be really exciting.
Yeah, and the whole point of it is to make competition still matter,
Right.
even if you're the bottom team at the end of the season. You know, often
Right.
here in NBA, NFL, teams that want to tank to try to get
Right,
better
to draft
picks.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. But
You know, that makes some games boring. You know, that
Right.
makes some of the stars kind of sit
they
out.
sit at the end,
Yeah.
and then, if you're not
So
going to
in
make
order
the
to kind
playoffs.
of keep this excitement for the entirety of the season, the argument is promotion relegation lets you do that.
Yeah.
So that could be something we see in the next couple of years. You know, we know the World Cup is coming in 2026. When
Oh
it
my
was
gosh,
last year in
yeah.
'94, that gave birth to the MLS. So folks at USL leadership, they're kind of hoping that this 2026 momentum of, you know, a lot of spirit for soccer really gives in to this idea that people are going to get invested in this promotion relegation.
Well, you can tell that the Bay Area is ready, I think, for soccer to kind of explode here. I think about a month ago, I sat down with the CEO of the Bay Area Host Committee, who's responsible for getting big events like the World Cup, the Super Bowl, of course, NBA All-Star Weekend was just here to the Bay Area. And one of the things she said is she's like, there's been a shift. Like you can tell people are so excited for the World Cup to come here. And she said, you know, not only are people coming up to me being like, I'm so excited for the Super Bowl, which obviously everybody expects Americans to be excited for the Super Bowl to come to the Bay Area. But she said one thing that maybe surprised her just a little bit is how excited so many people are for the World Cup.
I mean, it is a worldwide event. I mean,
Oh my gosh,
we
yeah.
had Copa America here just last summer. Teams like Brazil and Colombia, powerhouses that played at Levi Stadium.
And so many of their fans came.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Flying all the way like from South America to come.
And you better believe wherever the USA is, I'm flying out over there to check them out.
Mark James's words.
Yeah, but you heard it from me here first. Although USA broke our hearts a couple nights ago. They lost in the semifinals of the Nations League to Panama, a team they just internationally struggle against in some really important matches. World Cup qualifying, Nations League. It'll be the first time that the USA is not in the final for the Nations League Cup, which I went to a semifinal a couple years ago in Vegas when they played against Mexico. It was one of the best games I think they've played under this kind of regime of players. So a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are really, when World Cup is in like 400 or so days, so this is not the time where we want to be dropping big games and matches like that.
I do want to bring it back here to the Coliseum because we just have about a minute left with you guys here on the stream for the first half. Halftime, Too Short, is performing. I was telling Greg Lee yesterday that I'm so excited for his Blow the Whistle song to come on. And I was like, man, I wonder what he says to refs at the games. Greg just sort of rolled his eyes.
Okay.
But halftime quickly approaching, about 40 seconds or so out from the half here. James, did you get a check at the comments?
We will not be showing the halftime show. There seems to be a question on that. Again, we can't show you the game legally. There are rights that programs and TV networks have that can show you those matches. We're on this stream. We can't do that. You just got us. We'll show you some fans. We'll show you some of the other stuff. That's why we're here. I don't know if they've mentioned. We usually get some stoppage time after at the halfway mark. I don't know if they've announced that yet.
And if you're looking for the game, I'll mention you can catch that on KTVU Plus. That is channel 32. But again, 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Okay, yeah, right on.
That's
They've been really generous with stoppage time since this last World Cup, and I'm cool with it. I mean, I'll always love to watch a little bit more soccer, but stoppage.
The fourth official has indicated there will be
6 minutes.
6 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half.
All of that, of course, to account for any time the play stops or a long throw and the whatnot. We did have a player from San Antonio who's down for a little while at the end of the goal line, so I'm totally fine with them squeezing out as much as they can because a little more soccer never hurt anybody. Well, except for the players who got hurt. But I'm all fine with it. This is a thing that FIFA has really been pushing to. So I'm cool with more Stop and Shine.
Let's run through the comments.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people who are excited about Ricky Henderson's tribute there.
Wait, did I see a scroll down? I'm trying to read upside down.
Yeah,
Hang on. I'm not too great at that yet.
I like this. If Oakland ever gets a UFL XFL team, you will see the same level of big support. No doubt about that.
That's from Aaron. Can't pronounce your last name, Aaron. Aaron B. But thanks for watching along with us. We want to kind of summarize in these last, probably at this point, 5 minutes or so. We had Claudine come on here.
Yeah.
Oakland's interim mayor come
Yeah.
on.
We had some technical staff from the Roots who kind of help us break down what this is all about, what this means to them.
And some who have been here from one of the co-founders, Mike Geddes of the Roots, who was here from day zero, as I told him, the kind of inception and the idea of this team, and a team with purpose here in Oakland, because we've been talking about it all night long, but you had the Raiders leave, you had the Warriors leave, of course most recently the A's leaving. They'll be playing this season up in Sacramento, waiting on that stadium in Vegas to get built, but obviously the hunger, thirst for a team to cheer for that wants to be here is here. I talked to one of the members of the Oakland 68s, a fan group here, who I believe is right down there.
They're the reason for the drums and the
drums and the chants and a lot of those flags. But they told me that they were angry. I think that is something that people don't understand, is people are passionate about their teams. You put a lot of your own money into it, whether it's buying merch, whether it's buying tickets. It takes a lot of time to get out to these games. Think about paying for parking. People invest a lot in your team, whether it be at the professional level or college level. So I do understand that anger of when these A's left, but they were so excited to have the Roots here, and obviously last season they were playing down in Hayward, but to have the Roots back in Oakland and at the Coliseum. One thing too I noticed as fans started being let in to the stadium earlier today, I literally mentioned this to James as we watched it, they would come and stand up against the rails and sort of just look out and sort of ponder at the stadium and I guess what was a ballpark, and all the memories that were here, and you could almost watch them take it all in, and take in what's now here, which is this beautiful.
Well, with the A's, I think a lot of these folks thought that would be the last time they were ever inside the Oakland Coliseum. I think we thought that for a while too. It wasn't until I think decently recently that the Roots finally made it super official that they could actually play here and get their home games here. So I'm sure there are a lot of emotions for tons of people. Probably a lot of nostalgia too. Just pulling up and seeing. I mean, I think there are still some A's like memorabilia around here.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many Oakland A's jerseys.
Not to mention, I think the city of Oakland is working on changing one of these streets to like Ricky Henderson Way or Ricky Henderson Avenue or something like that. That was something that a lot of fans said they would have really loved to see after his passing, because it's just one way to make his tribute and his memory permanent around here.
Yeah, it was so special too. I mean, we talked about this at length.
Also, if you've never been to a soccer game, if you've never been to a soccer match, if you've never done a soccer tailgate, you got to try it out. It is not the same as football. It is.
I've never been to a soccer tailgate.
Oh my God.
I've actually never been to an NFL tailgate either. I'm always working, so
fair enough.
They frown on that. But I do with the mayor. He was like, "Let's do it next time." And so I think we got to make that happen.
Yeah, tri-tip.
Yeah,
good for you, man.
What tailgates are we going to that they have
doing
tri-tip?
hot dogs and cheap sliders.
Like a Costco pizza.
We're doing quantity over quality at the tailgate. So Mayor's
recently,
doing
when
tri-tip.
I was at the Niners game, I went to a tailgate and some fans were making mac and cheese burgers.
Oh, I love it.
But they didn't have spoons, so they were just like.
Niners fans go a little hard with their tailgates.
They do.
So they go quite all out.
I respect it.
They get there at
it's like camping.
6 a.m.
Day camping.
No matter the weather. I've been there where it's storming, and these guys are still out there, and they're still cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking in the rain.
I've had people are like, "Oh yeah, I've been making this gumbo for the last 30 years or whatever," and then they're like, "I started it 3 weeks ago." Not actually, because that'd be disgusting, but they people.
There's a commitment.
It's a whole. They're like, "Well, there's a sign-up sheet." It's like a pizza party in elementary school. Like Stacy's bringing the utensils. Dan's got the hot dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're coming to my tailgate, it probably wouldn't be very well organized. But maybe we'll have tri-tip. But that would be the only thing. You know who else does it? I got to go out to a Stanford football
I've done a Stanford tailgate,
for a story earlier this year, and those Stanford fans, they're tri-tip crew. They're a tri-tip crew. So if you're looking for a good tailgate,
that tracks with the
football.
peninsula.
Yeah.
Halftime.
There we go. Score at the half, 1-1, tied. Lots of excitement still in the second half. Me and James, this is it for us. We've had so much fun hanging out with you all, interacting with your comments on YouTube. And thank you again for joining us for this historic night at the Oakland Coliseum. The Roots kicking off or hosting their season opener, rather their home opener. Hello. I've been talking for too long. Here tonight, looking to get their first win of the season. Again, the score going into the half, 1-1.
Too Short coming up in just a minute. Again, watch that on the big screen, the real screen. We can't
KTVU
show that on
Plus.
the stream. In fact, the stream's going to end in just a second, so you're not going to watch anything if you keep this on. But go over to KTVU Plus. You can watch the second half there, hoping that the Roots pull out their first W of the season. We appreciate you guys being here with us. We're going to go warm up.
Yeah.
Freezing out here tonight. So thanks for being here, and go Roots.
Yeah.